going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Mandem Read with the Mandem ourselves. I go by the name of B, and I'm joined by the Mandem themselves.
JK.
Come on.
E. Smith. Come on.
So we're
Come
back.
on. What's this episode about?
So basically, today we're going to be discussing a book called The 7 Habits of Effective People. I'm happy I got that right because prior to that, I was like, the 7 effectiveness of habits.
You know, I get that as well. Yeah. I say like the 7 habits of successful people sometimes.
Yeah.
It messes me up.
But it's the 7 habits of effective people, right?
People,
Yeah. And who's it by again? Steve Covey.
Covey.
Steve Covey.
Stephen Covey, yeah.
Right, we've done our research.
I'll say the late Stephen Covey. He passed away back in
R.I.P.
2012.
Oh, you done a little?
Yeah, I did a little research on him.
Go on.
He was an educator, a businessman.
Yeah.
That's as far as I know. But I thought it was only right. I did a little.
Yeah, no, I was
a little bit.
I was many, but I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I messed up.
nah.
He was an American educator.
Yeah,
What part of America?
I'm not sure, but
That's a deeper question.
I think he taught business.
He taught business.
Yeah, he taught business in a college in the States.
A young 2-second Google.
But yeah, man, if you're like joining our little podcast for the first time, our big podcast, not little. If you're joining our big podcast for the first time, basically our podcast will basically discuss books, and we try to like read books that basically challenge, motivate, and basically help us improve as people. So, and if you don't read, the man will read, so you don't have to. So it's just the thing that we do. Come on. So anyway,
Come on. So boom.
where's Steve Covey from?
He's born in Salt Lake City. Utah. I was going to say Utah. Utah, yeah. Salt Lake
That's
City.
where the Mormons are, right? The Mormons. Yeah.
Is it?
What
Wait.
up?
What's a Mormon? I don't really understand the thing. I know it's like the Book of Mormon. What is that?
Well, my aunt in Cali, she was she's a member of a Mormon church.
Raw.
She's up in North Cali, like where the dry hills are, and
Is it like a Jehovah's Witness?
but they believe, and I'm just kind of, this is just a brief overview, and I'm not too knowledgeable on it, but they believe some tablets were left behind, and someone found them. I can't remember his name. A guy found them. These tablets sent
Mormon.
from God.
Mormon, yeah.
No, something like this is a while ago, like John Smith or something like that.
One of them bait Donny names.
But yeah, some tablets were found in the wilderness in like a forest. This guy, he picked them up and he brought them to a group of people, and then these are like the last kind of teachings from God, I think, yeah, something like that.
So wait, how did your relative get involved in that?
Because where she lives is it's like a big Mormon community.
Is it one of them ones where like she wanted to feel a part of the community?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's mad.
But they got some good values though.
Yeah.
The Mormons, yeah.
Like what?
Like collaboration without the exchange of money.
Okay. I rock with that.
That's interdependence, isn't it? Something we're going to speak on in this book.
Bit of synergy as well. Come on.
Synergy. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the values of effectiveness.
It says they're involved in polygamy as well.
Is it?
Is that a thing?
I don't know. My aunt's not, no.
I mean, where?
No drugs, no coffee, no alcohol, no sex till marriage. They have sex through a gown, they can't even see each other naked. They have sex through a gown.
That's whack.
Okay.
That's whack.
I watched this show called like The Midwife, yeah? Where like, I don't know, is it Midwife? No, I can't remember what it's called. It's not The Midwife, something like that.
Yeah.
So like there's like a couple, yeah, and they can't reproduce. So they get like a maidens, the Handmaid's Tale or something like that.
Handmaid's
I watched like a couple episodes, yeah. Basically they got like this maid, and then she basically like, when it's time when she's ovulating, the husband will come in and try and like, fertilize her, and then...
Oh, I heard about a show like that.
Yeah, it's a bit mad. It's obviously sometimes the wife's a bit jealous, isn't it? So they're like, he might be trying to like get it done, and the wife's sitting there holding the girl's hand. He's looking into his wife's eyes, and
But he's doing this thing with a mate. Yeah, I heard
so
about
it's a
that.
bit like.
That is mad.
I'm not saying that's what Mormonism is. It just sounded a bit like that with the sex with the gowns. Anyway, no, let's come back to the book because we could. Yeah.
What's that show called? Is it Midwives?
I think it's The Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. I recommend that still. I need to watch it myself. Really, I watched one episode. I thought this is wild.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. No, but back onto this book. So, yeah, the guy's born in Salt Lake City. He's a businessman as well as a educator.
Yeah.
He's also an author, a keynote speaker. He's got other popular books like First Things First, Principle-Centered Leadership, and The
Seventh Habit.
Habits of Highly Effective Families.
What?
And the
Families.
Eighth Habit.
Yeah, the eighth habit. Yeah.
Oh, you know
Pick
about
him
the
up.
eighth
Though.
habit?
He's made a lane for himself with the habits, and
I think that's his motto.
He's got a habit of making books about habits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
What's that quote you said earlier?
What, Aristotle?
Yeah.
What you do repeatedly, you are what you do repeatedly. Meaning success is not overnight, something like that. You are what you do repeatedly.
So basically, if you're like a fuck up, it's because you fuck up a lot, and then it snowballs into being a big fuck up. If you're like a hard worker and you want to succeed in certain things, the hard work snowpiles, and that's what I'm assuming it does. But yeah,
So you are what you do repeatedly. So excellence isn't an act; it's a habit.
bang. So him writing these books, he's got his habit down. He knows what he's good at, and he's
Yeah,
He knows
and
what-
he
he
just
knows
kept
what
hitting
works,
mark.
Yeah.
Kept hitting mark. So yeah, so the I want to get straight onto the book. Like I hear.
So his overall
writing, but I
belief
wanna
is
get
that
straight on the book.
he believes that that everyone has their own perception of the world.
Mhm.
Everyone has their own. Let's use the word paradigm.
Hmm.
So let's explain what a paradigm is. So he used a perfect example in the book, in the intro of the book.
Yeah.
So a paradigm is, let's say for example, we have a map.
Mm.
You have your Google Maps or your map, yeah?
Mhm.
A map is not a real life representation of the terrain.
Mm.
It's a model.
Mm.
It's a perception
Based on.
based on the terrain. It's like so that's a paradigm. That's a model.
Yeah.
That's a reality.
Mm.
Reality being the terrain.
Mm.
A reality based on a model being the map, being the paradigm. Your perception of the world based on how you grew up, you might be fuck the world. The world is bad to me.
Yeah.
That's your paradigm, innit?
Right. That's how I see the world.
That's how you
I
see the world.
like fuck the world.
But your
because-
paradigm doesn't match the reality. That's just your perception of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a different paradigm.
But it's my reality.
But that's yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a different paradigm, and so are you.
Yeah.
So I think his overall ideal in the book is, in order to change yourself as an effective person,
Yeah.
you first have to work on yourself
Yeah.
and change your paradigm, your perception.
Yeah.
So that's
That was in the overview, isn't
that's
it?
that's an overview.
Yeah, like what I got from the overviews, he said he started off with a quote by a guy called E.M. Gray, who wrote a book called The Common Denominator of Successful People, where this man says all successful people have a habit of doing what failures don't do. So that's why they're successful. Like, they don't like the task that they're doing, but they're doing it because they know it will give them the result they're after. And that's the habit that all successful people have.
Mm.
So he gives example. He starts off with like a fable story about a goose. I said it earlier on, innit?
Yeah.
About a goose, where a farmer has a goose in their house, and the goose lays a golden egg, and then like the farmer can't believe it. Obviously, it's a golden egg. It's coming out of a goose. Doesn't believe it. Leaves it for a couple of days, and then eventually goes and picks it up. Finds out there's an actual gold egg. Becomes rich off the egg. Comes back to the goose to get more eggs, but the goose isn't giving out no eggs no more. The goose is just chilling. Waits a day. Waits a couple of days. He's getting nothing. Right? What's he go and do? He kills the goose so he could get the eggs. But obviously he's getting no eggs. Basically, the whole moral of the story is a lot of people focus on the end result instead of what makes the result.
And
You
that's
get what I'm saying?
called the PC paradigm.
Yes, it's like production, and production capability, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it is, right?
So the goose is the production capability,
yeah,
as in the goose makes the eggs,
yeah.
and then the P is the production, the eggs. So in order to have effectiveness, you kind of have to work on the production and the PC.
So if he fed the goose, if he took care of the goose would have made more eggs, probably. Do you get what I'm saying?
But he was just worried about the
The
production
eggs.
and just wanted the eggs, the golden eggs. So he killed the
Kill the goose.
So basically, he didn't care about the goose. He just killed the goose.
And he starts the book off like
Yeah.
this.
You should took the goose to like salt-based restaurant and made some like goose. What's it called? Goose steak, gold-plated goose, bruv. That's what he should make.
So
And
yeah,
charge man 14 bills for that.
No, he starts the book like this, just on basically perspective, like your perspective on things. And then there's like 7 habits where he breaks down how you should focus on, first of all, okay. So he talks about interdependence and dependence. So how you should focus on your independence, build that up, and then get to a point where you can be interdependent. And being interdependent is where you're self-sufficient enough to team up with someone else that's self-sufficient enough for you to both gain a greater result than you can by yourself.
And this is the first time I heard the term interdependent.
Yeah, same.
So basically, you've got a dependent person. So people can be categorized into being dependent, being independent, and being interdependent. So a dependent person is like, you have a child who's dependent on a parent. You might have someone who's not able to work, who's dependent on someone. Then you have an independent person who's kind of solely responsible and accountable for what they do.
Yeah.
And they can kind of stand on their own 2 feet. And then interdependent is when you're collaborating and working with other independent people.
Yeah.
So in order to be interdependent, you have to become
Independent. First of all. Yeah.
First of all, interdependent doesn't work with dependent people.
Yeah.
Because interdependents are independent people working together.
Yeah.
And being effective and
because
creating a goal.
even if one person like in your team, if one person can't hit a goal or such, but you can still finish off the job. It just won't be as good or as good of quality if the other person didn't finish their job. So say, for example, me and Jay had a job to do and, I don't know, Jay lacked. I could still finish the job.
Yeah.
But that's him being dependent and me being independent. But if we both finish the job, then we're interdependent. Do you get what I'm saying? He finished his job, I finished my job. Therefore, the quality of the actual final result is greater than just me doing it
So
or
in a
just
sense,
him doing
both
it.
you are bringing something to the table.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And in an ideal society, people are interdependent, working with each other.
Yeah, because the whole of society is interdependent.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like everyone needs everyone.
But then obviously you're going to get dependent people who rely on people.
Who are on that JSA.
And yeah,
So
on a
that,
JSA and
that universal. No, I'm
yeah.
joking.
Bro.
No. I'm playing.
So basically what he's saying in this book is he's identified 7 habits
Yeah.
that make a person effective. And
Yeah.
these 7 habits, the first 3 are divided into a private victory
Yeah. Victories for yourself.
for yourself. The next 3 are divided into public victory. And then the 7th one is a standalone. It's just kind of improving yourself and polishing up the other habits, innit?
So it's
Yeah.
basically like the first 3 are all about you being dependent. Sorry, I was going to say interdependent. Being dependent for yourself. So you got habit 1, which is being
Be proactive.
proactive. Right. Then habit 2, which is
Begin with the end in mind.
right. And then habit 3.
Put first things first.
Right. What do you think of being proactive?
So being proactive is not what... Because when he first said it, I thought he was talking about, all right, being the first one, being ready, but it doesn't actually mean that.
No.
It actually means, so if you separate the word pro and active, so he's being active, but in a positive way, no negativity kind of thing, innit?
Yeah, what I got from that is like basically being proactive is like taking responsibility for your condition, basically. Like so he describes proactive people and reactive people. There's reactive people that kind of allow their situation to be or their circumstance to be their life, basically. They allow other people to control their life or conditions to control their lives. Good example is, say, for example, a proactive and a reactive person have a task to do, but it's a rainy day. A reactive person would say, it's wet outside, I'm going to feel cold, I can't be bothered to do this. I'm going to leave it for another day. A proactive person, based on his values and his principles, is going to say, no, I have to get this done because so, and so. Regardless if it rains, snows, or whatever, I'm still going to go out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a proactive and reactive person.
So a reactive person, they kind of suffer in victimhood. Everything else is someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Or it's their environment.
Yeah.
Or it's external forces that cause them to be who they are.
Yeah.
Whereas a proactive person takes responsibility.
Right.
And they say, no.
Yeah.
It's within me.
Yeah. To change it.
To change it.
Yeah.
I have to change my characteristic.
Yeah.
My what's the word I'm looking for?
My mentality?
I have to change my mentality. I have to look into my. So a proactive person takes the inward out approach. So they start with
inside out approach.
Inside out. So they start with the in, they change everything inside, and then they look at the outside. Whereas a reactive person starts from the outside looking in. They blame everything on the outside first before even addressing issues in themselves.
Is it like kind of like that Mario Balotelli slogan, like why always me? Like people who are reactive are kind of like, life happens to me.
Yeah.
Rather than like
life is just like that.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what's a good example? That's a great example because there's him.
Yeah.
It's just like, me. Everyone's looking at me. And then there's people like Ronaldo. Bare people digging into him. Ronaldo. Why are you doing this skill? Like, why don't you pass? What are you trying?
But only
he saw it completely different.
Yeah.
He saw it completely different. I was like, you know what? I think in one interview about Alex Ferguson, he was seeing it as he said he was seeing it as like, you kind of care. He cried. I read his book. He cried that I think it was Alex Ferguson or Rio Ferdinand must have gunned him and said like, why didn't you pass? Or you're doing too much skill. And instead of taking it as you're digging up, like you're bringing me out, you're drawing me out right now. He took it as you care. Like you care enough to tell me what's right for me to be better. So he used his consciousness to be proactive from the not so much insult, just creative criticism he was getting. Whereas Mario is kind of like, you know what I mean? You're just digging on me, like, you're just trying to gun me down, like, and now look at his career. But hold tight, Mario, though. I ain't gunning you. You're hot. I ain't gonna gun Mario. He's Italian. I'm Italian. All love. Ciao, Bella.
Yeah, man. I think it's important to be proactive. That's why one of the key things I took from reading the book itself, actually, like, I found that I hit quite home, basically. For example, I wouldn't say I'm the most disciplined individual in the world. So, like, reading a book like this, which tells you, like I said, you are what you do repeatedly.
Yeah.
I'm a man who chills a bit,
Yeah.
I'll react when it's time to react, but not like do the pre-work behind it.
Right.
So for me, it's like I say things like, I want to complete this, I want to do this, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Which I do sometimes, you know what I'm saying? That's a key word sometimes, but not all the time. And I feel like if you're a person who maybe needs a little kick up your ass and needs to, I don't know, look yourself in the mirror a little bit, this book will help you.
Yeah.
And especially the first chapter kind of hit home to me, like, about being proactive rather than just being reactive.
Yeah.
It's about, like you said, it's about positively reacting to things and doing things that you need to do. For example, I don't know, I can't think of examples of actions. Like if you want to get fit, I don't know, making sure you do the work. Obviously, it's simple. Go exercise, eat well, but like making sure you do it. It's easy to say I'm going to work out 5 times a week, but even if you can't make it to the gym, that's an excuse. Life's happened to me. I know, and it's something like I saw earlier. It's like people who are a bit reactive. They work off emotions, isn't it? Like, I don't feel like it. But it should be a case where it's like, even if I don't feel happy or sad, I'm still have to get this thing done, and then so forth. But yeah, man, if you need a bit of motivation and bit of drive, definitely guarantee checking out this book there.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned something that they talk about in chapter 2 when you were saying if you need to get your goals together or something like that. In chapter 2, they talk about having the end goal in mind.
Yeah.
So basically, when you have a task at hand or whatever it is you want to do, having the full concept, the full blueprint
So
of what you're
this
after.
is the second habit now, isn't it?
This is the second habit.
Yeah.
Having a full blueprint, having the full idea in mind, so you know what you're working towards. And they call that the first creation. So that's like the mental creation, like you're self-aware enough to build a concept in your head that you want to work towards. And this works back into the first chapter where if you're reactive, you don't have that ability. You're not self-aware enough to build something for yourself and work towards it. Whereas proactive people, they know what they want. They come up with an idea, they come up with a concept, and then work towards it. And that's chapter 3, where it's like you're working towards it, the management of working towards it. So in chapter 2, they say
Begin with the end in mind.
Yeah, so it's like leadership, the personal leadership. So having a goal, working towards it, and working towards it, and having a whole concept in your head.
He used the funeral example. And
that's a hard example.
You know what?
Hard exercise.
Reading that.
Yeah.
It's something that I often did.
Did you?
Yeah, I think many people do as well. Like, don't you ever think, I wonder what my funeral is going to be like. I wonder how many people are going to attend. I wonder what they're going to say. Are they going to say nice things?
I'll tell you what. There was a time when I used to watch a lot of Tupac videos, and you know how they talk about the dead. They're like, oh, he was amazing, and he was amazing. He was kind. He was generous. He used to do this. He used to do that. Then I started thinking, like, raw, like, what are they gonna say about me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So his point is, think using that as an example. He's saying that's gonna motivate you to work in a different way, in a certain way where you're gonna be thinking, by the time it's my turn to I want people to think this of me. I want to leave this legacy.
Yeah.
I want this many people to say good things.
Yeah.
So I think that's the example he used when he says, start with the end in mind.
Yeah.
So if you have a goal
of how you want to be perceived,
exactly how you want to be perceived,
then you're going to work towards it. Like, oh, he was a generous guy, so right now you're going to start doing generous things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
for you to be left in, in that aspect when you pass on.
And he even and this is from the Bible as well, where
I swear down, you're quoting the Bible.
Well, not quoting it word for word, but what separates man from beast is that we have free will, and we also have imagination, innit?
Yeah.
So we can step outside ourselves and imagine how we're going to be in the future.
Yeah.
We got free will to choose our own actions and change. A dog can't stop being a dog. Dogs have feelings, but they're not going to stop barking.
Yeah.
Like, I can be a mechanic one day and say, you know what, this is not my purpose in life.
Yeah.
And I can start a new career path.
Dogs can't just turn around and be vegan. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. They can't just start meowing.
They can't just, you know what I'm saying? Like
There's a quote from the book here. It says, it's incredibly easy to get caught up in the activity trap in the business of life, to work harder and harder at climbing the ladder of success, only to discover that it's leaning against the wrong wall. So basically, like, say in life you work hard as a person, you just work grafting. I don't know, you might want to be, you want to be successful, but just grafting at something that's not really going to help you become successful. You could be working a dead-end job and working very hard.
You're not being effective.
But not really climbing up the ladder, it's not being effective. That's why I think it's important when it says visualize your end goal first, so you know the route that you're taking.
Yeah.
Rather just like working hard aimlessly to achieve, not nothing, but to achieve what you want, you must know what you want.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you should be walking down a road that you don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
Essentially.
You have to have a destination in mind.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've found out by that point as well, which I thought was quite sick.
Yeah, I like that whole idea where it's like, it's the first creation. I think that kind of leads back to the Bible with the whole, the first creation. What was it? God said, let there be, and there was that. Do you know what I mean? Like, he thought about it first before saying it. So yeah, his whole concept in the second chapter is you have two creations. You have the first mental creation where you come up with the idea, and then you have the physical where you've manifested it. And that comes from knowing what you want. And then it goes on to the third chapter. So the third chapter is all about managing like the tasks leading up to the final product.
So the third, this is the third habit, yeah?
There's the third habit.
Put first things first?
Put first things first.
Putting first things
Yeah.
first. So it's so what he's done on the book, he's made what he calls as a matrix. It's basically like a graph where it's like on the left side you've got urgent and non-urgent tasks, and at the top you've got important and non-important.
Oh yeah, this.
Yeah, and he makes a list of what's important and urgent and what isn't important and urgent and da-da-da-da-da. And what he's come to find out is a lot of us spend our times in urgent, important tasks. So tasks that you got to do right now, like in crises and whatnot. Whereas if you spend your time in important and non-urgent tasks, that will alleviate a lot of the tasks in your in like that are urgent. Do you get what I'm saying? So basically saying if you plan ahead, they will not be urgent. Do you get what I mean? If you plan ahead 3 weeks in advance, 4 weeks in advance, you start managing your stuff. When it's time for that deadline or whatever, you're good. It won't be urgent.
So this matrix is say you have a box, you divide it in half horizontally, divide it in half vertically.
Oh, yeah, so you got 4 boxes.
So you got 4 boxes, and in the top left is urgent. You put urgent above,
Yeah,
and urgent and important.
yeah,
The second square
yeah.
is it non-urgent, unimportant?
Non-urgent, non-important. Yeah.
The third one is
What third one?
because it's split up into 4, innit?
Yeah.
4 quadrants. Basically, it's just
Quadrants. Yeah.
it's just dividing your work into important or unimportant.
It's a graph, bro. I don't know
so-
why he calls it a matrix.
Yeah.
It's a graph.
To me, it's just a box, man.
I just
Is
tried
it
to
like one of
sound
those
smart.
American things? You know what they say, like different words for different things? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, bro. This
Like
guy's
sneakers
from,
instead of
was it like
trainers.
1960s? Probably is, man. His
So that's-
terms are different.
So that habit is just about prioritizing and working on things that are
Yeah.
more and not dwelling on things that aren't unimportant and unurgent.
One thing he did mention, which I've been doing for a minute, and it's actually been productive, is like setting up your life on a weekly basis. Like basically just planning out your life in a weekly basis. Some people do it monthly or yearly, or some people don't even do it at all. But weekly is like a good time for you to gather yourself by the end of the week and just analyze what you've done, and then reset and then go again. Do you know what I mean? So that was a good. That's one thing that I took from that chapter. Doing first thing first. Another thing was he talks about how to manage, because obviously the chapter's based on managing your goal to get to the final product, and he talks about how you can delegate tasks, and there's 2 ways of delegating tasks. You've got the gopher
approach.
the gopher approach, or the stewardship.
Stewardship.
So you
I
take
said
management.
stewardship. Yeah, no, it's 2 different ways of managing. So the gopher approach is where it's like,
Go
you know,
for
you-
this. Go for that.
Yeah, you got managers that tell you what to do. It's like, do this and do that, and they're on your back. But it's like they're not telling you the end goal. They're just saying, do this, do that, every little task. And then the stewardship approach is where they give you all the tools, they give you the goal, and they just let you do your thing. They tell you how they would do it, but they just let you do your thing in your own time. And what he was saying is with the gopher approach, it's less productive because you've got a lot of managing to do. You got to kind of stand over people.
That's when he came with the example with his son in the yard, innit?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
doing a lawn.
His son mugged it.
Yeah. he took the piss.
His son mugged it.
Yeah.
How's he telling his son, look, listen, obviously he's had a family meeting, he's sitting down, he's like, look, listen, everyone's going to have a task. Him and his wife are going to pay the bills. She's going to take care of the baby, the newborn, and da-da-da. So what are you going to do? The kid's like, oh, I'm going to clean the yard. It's like, okay, cool, you're going to clean the yard. So he's gone outside. He's shown his ute the neighbor's yard, innit, and said, look, that's clean.
And look at ours.
Yeah, he's like, that's clean and green, yeah? Look at ours. That's clean and green. Look at ours, man. The man said this a couple of times, innit? Then I think he took like 2 weeks. to describe to him like how to clean it or how clean it should be.
Yeah.
Oh no, just to get it in his head.
To get it in his head, and he kind of delegated that task to his son and said, "Listen, I'm not going to be on your back and force you to do this.
Yeah.
You have to kind of do this in your own time."
In your own time, yeah.
And before they left each other,
Yeah.
as in parted ways,
Yeah.
his son made an agreement to say, "Okay, I'm gonna do this."
Yeah.
And the son,
Without you telling me anything.
without you telling me anything,
Yeah.
and the dad agreed, said, "Okay, I'm not gonna be on your back." So I think weeks had passed, and the dad was noticing that this yard is not getting cleaned,
You ain't done nothing.
and he would see his son across the road, like playing in the park.
Playing in the park, yeah.
Yeah. So I think one day he brought his son to the yard. He said, "Son, like it doesn't look like this yard has been touched."
Yeah.
And then
His son starts crying, innit?
yeah,
His son starts crying, and then he's like, yeah.
I think he's-
basically
How did
like,
he really speak to his son though?
Well, I don't know. Like, it's this old American Donnies.
'Cause, okay,
I don't know.
do you think, for example, when talking about children and stuff, that they need the go for method rather than like
No,
give them
you don't.
responsibility? You don't think so?
I think by giving them the go for method, it doesn't give them responsibility. They don't grow for themselves. They don't learn how to manage their own time. That's the whole point of the thingy, the chapter. And that's where he fucked up. The whole joke is when he came up to the yard and with his son and was like, "What's going on?" His dad was like, the son was like, "Oh, it's hard. I can't do it." And then he was like, "Do you want me to help you?" And then obviously, like, he was like, "Yeah. Do you reckon you can do this part and this part and this part?"
So now the son is now delegating tasks to his dad.
Yeah. So the whole
So that's where the
ethos-
responsibility comes as well, isn't it?
Oh, is that?
Because so the son was crying and said, so actually when he was describing to his son about how to clean up the yard, he said to his son, "Listen, this is your task. I want you to do this. I'm not going to pressure you, but if you do need help, you can call on me."
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
2 weeks down the line, when the yard wasn't getting done, he called his son and said, "What's happening?" Son started crying, and then he said, "Oh, Dad, it's too hard." But then the dad said, "I did say if you do need help, you can call me. Whenever I'm available, I'll help you." So then he said, "Oh, can you help me then?" And then the son started saying, "Oh, okay, Dad, can you get that? Can you?" So it's like now the son has a kind of responsibility and power in it because he's now able to delegate tasks and he's now able to own that responsibility.
But I thought, the whole point of that was because as a manager, you're meant to show them how to do it. Because after that, he was like, so you helped him out, and then his son grew like the confidence to just do it himself. And he grew the confidence and he took it for his own. So like all the other siblings were throwing things on the ground and all of that after he had cleaned the yard.
And he kind of reprimanded him.
Yeah, he was like telling him like, "No, you can't do it." Like he took responsibility of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right, because he took responsibility of it. He thought it was his.
So whenever his
type thing.
siblings would throw stuff on the ground, he would quickly tell them off, "Pick this up."
Yeah.
Because that's his task now.
And
He
he's garden, innit?
he has to look after it, and he's taking ownership of it.
Nah, for real. That was a good one.
And it's like, when you see Donnies out in their garden and they're mowing and they got the sprinklers going on there.
Yeah.
They're looking around and they're having big ball competition on which garden is the best. You know what I mean?
Them Americans, man.
Yeah.
We ain't got gardens like that out here. Them Americans. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I would have clapped that ute, man. Are you mad? After weeks, I've told you to mow the yard and that. You're just gonna come and chill, swing with your boys. Yeah. Are you mad?
Well, if I told my dad, can you go do that part of the garden?
In it?
I'm gonna be like, am I your age, mate? That might be on me, like, what's that about?
After a couple of weeks, so you're just gonna come round and be like, "Oh, can you do this?" Like, what? What happened to our agreement? I'll clap you in your face. Nah, not in the face. That's abuse.
So on the next habit, the next chapter, then he goes on to describe the different interactions, the different human interactions. So these are
This is chapter 4.
This is chapter 4, yeah.
All right, so the first 3 chapters was all about private victory. Yeah.
Working on yourself.
Yeah, trying to get yourself independent, right?
Yeah.
Now you're at a independent point.
Yeah, now we're working on Now we're working on the public victories.
Public victories, yeah. So this is chapter 4.
This
public
is chapter 4, the public victory.
Right.
And this one was think win-win.
Yeah.
So there's
I
6
didn't get there.
there's 6 types of human interactions. Yeah?
Right.
I like this one.
Yeah. 6
Yeah.
types of it. Go on.
6 So you got a win-win situation.
Right.
Done.
Let me refer to my notes.
Now do you?
You got a win-win situation
Right.
where both parties
I think in win.
they benefit from the outcome.
Okay.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
The next one is a win-lose situation
Okay.
where in this situation that we're negotiating, I'm
Right.
winning, but you're the loser in it.
Right.
Then you have a lose-win situation where you're the loser and I'm the winner.
So who initiates the lose-win situation?
It depends on what your goal is and what you're bargaining and what you're negotiating and what you agree to.
Right.
The next one is a lose-lose where both parties lose.
Right.
The next one is a win where your only motivation is to win at any cost. You don't even care if someone loses. You just
So
want to win.
You're gonna start moving treacherous.
You start moving mad.
Dirty.
And then you
How you
have
get snakes.
So that's the win. Then you have the win-win or no deal where
What's that? I heard that before.
it's a win-win situation. And if we can't negotiate anything better, we're walking away.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're walking away.
As in you both walk away.
There's going to be no deal unless we both benefit from this.
Right.
And then that's it. So just to recap, you got a win-win,
Right.
win-lose,
Lose-win.
lose-win, lose-lose, win, and win-win or no deal.
I'm on this win-win or no deal, bro.
And these are also paradigms. So these are ideals and perceptions.
Okay.
So as I said, a win-win situation is when both, we could be a win-win situation is where, let's say you want to borrow my car
Right.
because you want to get to somewhere.
Mhm.
You got a date.
Right.
And I said, okay, you can borrow my car, but you have to put petrol in it
Okay.
and you have to maintain it and whatnot.
That's win.
Then you can use my car as much as you want, as long as you put petrol in it and you maintain it. If the tire busts, you have to fix the tire. That's a win-win situation, isn't it?
That's win-win. Yeah, okay.
Whereas if you borrow my car, you use it for all your benefits. You link someone, and then you return it to me with empty petrol, empty tank.
That's
Like
some madness.
Clean out the seats.
the seat, you got food in the seats. That's a win-lose situation, isn't it? Because you've won, and now I've lost in that situation because I have to now put money in to put petrol in the tank. I have to clean it.
So then, what's a win-lose for you then?
A win-lose. So remember, so that's your win. That's your win-lose.
Yeah.
A win-lose. So where I'm winning in the situation.
Because if I go out, clean your car, do up MOT, and my date flops on me, then I gotta bring it all back.
No. But you can still go on your date, but it's like you might ask you to do above and beyond to the car.
Yeah, I might say, okay, you can take my car, but put petrol in there. Also, it needs a new tax before you can even take it on the road. That's bare money. Also, you need to pump the tires.
Oh, you're violating.
Also, when you on the way back, can you go Tesco and
Oh, you're violating.
yeah.
But you need the car though.
But you need the car. So even though you're getting to use a car,
It best be like some
by me sending you
Rolls
Tesco,
Royce Phantom.
I'm
Depends
wasting
how much you value the
I'm
date.
using your time, and you have to put bare expenses into a car. So that would be like
Okay.
a win-lose.
I get that.
You've got a lose-lose where a situation happens and we both kind of
So it's like I roll out, tire flat, I can't bring it back home. Insurance is all talking to you about trying to get the car back.
that'll be a lose-lose, isn't it? Because you didn't even get to go on your date.
I
as
didn't
well.
even get to go on my date.
That's
Yeah.
a lose-lose
Or if
situation.
you crash the car.
Yeah, or I crashed the car.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
That's a
Say
lo-
no more.
And then
So,
you have a
do
win
that.
situation
Yeah.
where I don't care if anyone else is losers, if everyone else loses. I don't care if anyone else wins, as long as I win.
You as in the car owner.
Yeah, or whatever the situation is.
Yeah,
I don't care if you win in the situation. I don't care if you lose in the situation. my only objective is for me to win.
For
Sorry.
me, that will sound like I'll just rob you.
The book says think win-win, innit? So
Yeah.
like, is he when he's the name of the chapter in the book? Sorry, the name of the chapter is think win-win.
Yeah.
Is he basically saying think win for yourself and win for somebody else, so it both gets wins? You work together.
Yeah.
Rather than-
No, I think the goal is for you to think about your win and the person.
Yeah.
Because it leads up to interdependence.
So the best, the best paradigm out of all of the types of wins, losers, or whatever, is the win-win. That's the best outcome because that's the best paradigm. That's the best way of effectiveness. That's interdependence. Not only are you thinking about yourself, but you're also thinking about other people.
Makes sense. That's good
So
business.
that's the best. And then win-win or no deal is also a good one.
I just want to put that in practice. How would that be? What's a win-win no deal if
Win-win,
I'm
no
borrowing your
deal.
car?
I don't know about in a
Or is it like, oh, if you don't clean my car, you're not taking it?
no, a win-win would be like let's say me and you're going into business
Yeah.
and then we have to chat to a supplier to get some cheap goods.
Mm.
You've got your shop, I've got my shop,
Mm.
but we're both going to approach the supplier to see if we can get a discount.
Mm.
If they don't give us a discount that's beneficial to your shop and to my shop, then we're just going to walk away.
Okay.
It's win-win where,
Or no deal.
or
Yeah.
no deal.
Okay.
And we're also going to think of the supplier, we're going to think of their best interest as well.
Yeah.
So that's not only do we have to win, but they have to win.
Mm.
If we can't get to a situation where everyone's winning, then we're going to walk away. We rather, that's a win-win or no deal.
like 5v foreign. Winning, spinning, grinning. Yeah, that. Says
Well,
winning, spinning, and grinning. Walk away, grinning. You're walking away winning, bro. That's what I'm saying. You're so win-win.
But I swear he has them ad-libs on every song.
Hey. That's what you do when you win-win.
What is that? Is that a summary of the whole of this fourth?
Yeah, that's more or less the.
Bro,
Okay.
I'm loving the notes, you know. You're looking like Trevor McDonald's, bro. I'm
Yeah, but you know when you read the notes, you kind of get lost.
You're looking
your
efficient.
eyes are, you know.
What's that film? The Is it The Weatherman?
Anchorman. Yeah.
You got your own prompter right there. That's what I'm saying.
Come on. Come on.
You know we need like a teleprompter in it.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
Hey.
I like freestyling. I'm not gonna lie.
Swear.
You know I got so much notes.
I know. I could tell.
I'm saying, you know why?
What?
I ain't gonna lie. This is one of the best books I've ever read.
No, bro.
I hear you. Top
Hey,
10.
big up Steve,
Top 10.
bro.
I think
Top 10 without a shadow
Steve
of a
Covey,
doubt.
big him up, man.
I think this should be like one of the most important books. The second most important book after the dictionary.
I reckon, yeah. I reckon you should be teaching your youths this from young.
Yeah.
No, real talk.
And this is a book where you don't read it and put it down. You refer to it over and over again.
Like the Bible.
Like the Bible, like the Bible. Or the Quran.
So what? So you would say after the dictionary it's the Bible?
Well, let me not.
What
let me
religious
not-
book you're into, innit?
Yeah, whatever book's important to you, I reckon this should be like top 5.
Say no more.
This should be top 5.
100%. Yeah,
this
man.
is,
Say
this is
no
a very
more.
good book.
Yeah,
Just getting
definitely.
rave reviews where everyone got to the end of it. All right, then. All right. Big up Steve.
No, when I first,
Covey,
when
man,
I
Steve
was
Covey,
first reading the first chapter, I was like, this is a deeper one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the first chapter, it was the overview. It was just the concept of how to look on things, how to look at things.
But when he
sorry.
said paradigms, I was like, ooh,
Paradigms and principles, innit?
yeah, I've heard this word before. Let me
That is deeper.
getting deep.
It's deeper. You got to
Yeah.
look at things completely different. And this did make me look at things completely different.
100%.
When he said circle of influence, I was like, oh,
Oh,
touching some places.
Oh, yeah, okay. What
That's
chapter's
on,
that? What
um,
chapter's that in?
that's 2 or 3, innit?
Yeah.
That's
Explain that.
Circle of influence. That's like
It's like 2 circles.
so people who are proactive,
Yeah.
they count on a circle of influence to
Where you got to describe it. So there's like 2 circles, right?
two.
There's a small inner circle,
You got a circle of influence and you got a circle of concern.
which is right around the small circle.
The circle of concern. How can I?
There's just 2 circles. It's a small circle and a circle around it. The small circle is the circle of influence.
Yeah.
The circle of concern is the circle around it, right?
I.e. external issues.
Right.
Yeah.
The circle of concerns is based on things that you cannot control directly, like the
Yeah.
weather, like politics, like things that are going
Or
on
you
around
always
you.
you're always blaming it.
Right. And reactive people,
Sorry,
reactive people's circle of concern is bigger than their circle of influence. Do you get what I'm
actually the
saying?
best way to describe it. A ring donut.
Yeah.
So the hole is your
Come on, you got the visuals, yeah.
I'm trying to visualize it. The hole is the circle
Circle
of influence. But the actual
ring.
donut bit is your circle of concern.
Right.
Because that's the external bit that
Right.
kind of is around the
Yeah.
inside bit.
Yeah.
So circle
So
reactive people,
yeah.
they're influenced by the donut ringy bit, which is the circle of concern.
Mhm.
That's the external.
Whereas
factors.
proactive people are concerned with the inner, the whole
Yeah.
in the ring, because it's just your influences, things that you can influence,
Oh,
So
things
that's
that
like-
you can change
Yeah.
directly.
back to the Bible.
So that would be your.
Why the Bible?
Lord, give me strength to change the things that
Yeah.
I can change, and give me the strength to accept those I cannot change. In a sense,
That's being
influence
proactive, you know.
what you can and what you can't.
That's being proactive. Because even in being proactive, chapter 1, yeah, he talks about how your language, you need to use the right language for
Yeah,
you
yeah.
to for. So what he says is reactive people use language like I can't, because I have to. It's the way of life, or you know what I mean. They just blame. Yeah, like I said, they blame scenarios or circumstances they're around.
But really, do you have to?
You don't. It's all a choice.
Everything's a choice, isn't it?
Everything's a choice. It's like not smoking. That's a
Yeah,
choice.
yeah.
You choose to buy what you know. Whereas
So that's
people are just like
so that's
fall into it.
that's like a paradigm shift as well.
Hey.
Changing your language on how you
View things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't go outside because I have to do this. No, you don't have to do this. Do you choose to do it?
You chose to do it.
Yeah. So that's
And what you choose is based on your priorities,
Yeah.
based on your matrix, if you will,
yeah.
based on what's important and what's urgent. It all intertwines.
And the
but yeah.
circle of influence are like things you can change, like your relationship with your family, friends, that kind of thing. Innit? That's pulling on your circle of influence.
Do you? I don't know. I think it's chapter 3 where he talks about your center. That's what you choose. That's your center is basically what you're centered around. So whether you're family orientated, money orientated, relationship orientated. So basically, when someone says, for example, you're going out on a date with your girl, and your business calls, and they're like, "Oh, we need you to come in for a late one because da 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 da."
Yeah.
If you're money orientated, you'll see the flip and be like, "Listen, babe, I gotta get this cash, gotta keep it moving," because your money, your center is money. If you're spouse orientated, that's what he calls it, spouse orientated, you'll be like, "No, look, listen, this is my night off.
I'm supposed to take the wife.
I was supposed to take my partner to the I'm not gonna make it." And yeah, there's like different centers, and obviously your principles and your values come before that, but that kind of defines your center of what you're centered around, whether it's spouse, money, family. There's bear.
There's many. Yeah, we don't have to go into all of them because I can't remember all of them.
Yeah, no, there's a few. There's possessions and all of that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like, say like you're self-centered, your family, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
you could be self-centered.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like me. You could be pleasure-centered, where it's like, listen, I'm.
That's me still. Man. Like, sometimes I get carried away. I like to do things that make me happy. Like, more time. That's what motivates, man. If it doesn't like excite me or give me a kind of, it's got. I'm very. That's a weakness, though. I have to admit that's a big weakness.
Yeah, but then it's like depends how you see it, because that's probably your stimulus, and that's how you respond.
Yeah.
That's another word that he uses. He's like, well, so your stimulus is basically what stimulates you to do things, and you just said your stimulus is basically pleasure.
That sounds mad kinky as well, doesn't it? That sounds like I'm some pervert.
Shit.
Not like that though. But yeah.
So just swiftly moving on to the fifth chapter. So the fifth chapter and the fifth habit is seek
Man
first.
like Nelson.
Seek first to understand. So you got this saying where you tell people to what's the saying? Just gone from my head. Where listen to understand rather than listen to respond. So he's basically saying we kind of have to shift our paradigm and to understand and to be understood. So there's two parts to this, to understand. So in order to be an effective person and give you advice or to give you counsel or to give you suggestion, I have to listen to you. Otherwise, I don't know what the hell I'm giving you advice for. I might not be even giving you good advice. So that's the first thing, to listen and be a listener. And the second part of it is to be understood. So yeah.
The first part makes sense though, because obviously, like, if you're telling me about like, raw, you're having car issues, I don't know, your car's breaking down every now and then I just come through and I'll start chatting about bikes or something like that.
Exactly.
And how I got issues with bikes or something like that.
And if I just say, take the bus.
Yeah, it's like I'm not really listening to you.
Yeah, so it's like listening.
Yeah.
No, listen to understand rather than speaking to be understood, in a sense.
And he's saying we have to be empathetic listeners.
I'm
So
terrible at that.
I did this at work, you know.
So you saying that your car's broken down, and me saying, why don't you just take the bus? That's not me being empathetic, innit? Empathetic or whatever. That's just me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I reckon like a lot of men, well, I know,
Yeah.
a lot of men do this in relationships or something. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you wanted to shy away from it. Nah, say what you're gonna say, innit?
What, in terms of like listening to, you know, it's like when it comes to, for example, arguments. See, this is kind of straying away from the book a bit.
No, it's not.
Okay, but it's kind of the same thing though. So like when you have an argument with someone, sometimes people get caught up in the whole argument. They're trying to just get themselves heard rather than like actually listen to what the other person's arguing about.
Yeah.
And trying to come to a collective solution together.
Yeah.
It's more like you pissed me off, and now you're pissed off. Now you're just both barking at each other.
Yeah.
And nothing's been resolved apart from us just walking away from being angry with each other.
Yeah.
Like I said, when it comes to relationships, I think we also need to be able to say someone's got their grievance, listen to their grievance, say, okay, cool, then be empathetic to them and say, okay, I can see how this made you feel that way, but also my intentions were not make you feel this way. It's more of a sense, I was doing this because, you know what I'm saying? And you work together to come to a conclusion rather than just like, your car's broken, get on the bus, blood. You need that empathy to make everything work, innit? Otherwise there's no cohesion, there's no glue, there's nothing.
Because I gotta admit, many a times I'll be the guy to be like, get on the bus. Like, no empathy. I'll be like, listen, I just gave you a solution. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not hearing you. I just gave you a solution. But now I clocked, it's like, it's not even about me giving you a solution. It's more about me listening
and
to
understanding.
what you're saying. Yeah, listening and just understanding, and maybe not even giving a solution, just empathizing with you.
Because,
because there's, they can get a bus.
Yeah.
But the idea is not to destroy your relationship with the person.
Yeah.
So it's all good saying get on a bus, but to understand and be empathetic, you're also building and strengthening your relationship with them.
Your interpersonal relationship with them.
Interpersonal relationship, yeah.
Because more times they just want to get heard.
Yeah.
And this is people, this is not even just women, this is people sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, your boy could just tell you he's got mad money issues. He don't even want cash off you. He just wants to tell you he's got mad money issues, and it's just bothering him.
I
you know
tell him, get up and get it, bruv. I would.
Because you're empathetic. You're not empathetic.
I can't just empathize with you. I've got to tell you what has to be done. You've got to be proactive.
Real talk.
If you're sitting on your bum and you're not doing nothing, and you ain't got no money, and you're telling me you ain't got no money, I'll tell you why you've got no money. That's me being empathetic to you, because I'm giving you my time of day to listen to you.
Nah, real talk.
But that would only work with your close circles, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And obviously it depends how I say it to you as well.
How you say
If
it.
I said, oh, you're a waste, man, bruv. Yo, look at you. I'll be like, no. I hear what you're saying, but I think if you do this and do that, and then you can go and make that happen. Obviously, it's all about listening and hearing them back. But like, I feel like sometimes you need to give someone a situation, be empathetic to them. But like some people, too much empathy allows them to like,
just be sloppy,
their crap, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. I'm not there for those kind of things. You know, if you clearly can do something about your situation, you're not doing it. Yeah, that's being reactive. That's where, isn't it? Like, what's happening to me? I've got to tell you, especially if I've got love for you, I've got to tell you, fix up, or this will keep happening to you.
Real talk.
Straight up.
Man said justify their crap.
That's it though, isn't it?
That's true. It's true.
Loads of people, come to you and chat to you about,
Yeah.
and then they'll come back and go, and it's like, how many more can you listen to?
No,
Do you know what I'm saying? And before you tell someone to like,
and then you look like the bad guy for just telling them what go on. It's mad, I know. It's mad.
But then those
Telling them the
people
real.
are dependent and they can't be interdependent with
Yeah,
you.
they are
So you kind of
dependent,
like got to look at them and treat them a certain type of way in terms of getting to your end goal. You just know you can't.
Yeah, they're not dependent with you, bro. I mean, because they're not independent by themselves. That's
Yeah.
why they can't.
They're dependent.
Yeah, because being independent allows you to make your own judgment for yourself, your own decision, own conscious decision for yourself. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't even do that, boy,
It's peak.
it's peak.
So the second to last habit, which is the last habit in the public victory, is synergy. So you can
So,
I'm gonna get to that bit.
so
I read this
basically,
one.
synergy is basically a combination of all the other like habits to prepare us for basically what this is. So basically, in other words, when you think about synergy, it's about like things coming together, kind of like, I don't know if synergizing means the same thing, but like coming together. So you hear this about in the office quite a lot when people talk about like things like diversity and things like that. And his books talk about interdependency, where like you're independent and you can self-sufficient, you can provide something, bring something to the table. But then I can find someone like Jay who's also interdependent and he's got a different view on life. So for example, using the win-win solution and listening to understand rather than speaking to be understood, I can work out how you think. I can tell you how I think. Then me and you can synergize, come together, and we can create something completely new and different than we would have been able to create by ourselves, because now we've got our own different perspectives coming into it. So basically synergizing allows you to like, how did he put it in the book specifically? Allows you to like create new alternatives and open new possibilities. So it allows you, to us as a collective, to agree to ditch the old scripts and write new ones. So basically, I could be thinking, buy cheap, sell something, and Jacob thinking, nah man, get something that's real quality and sell it for more money, but you might not sell as much. I'm just thinking about selling loads of quantity for the cheap. I think about selling high quality things for more money. And then we can come together with different perspectives. We won't have to argue about it, but we can come and meet somewhere in the middle where we both create a product that's maybe in between that. So maybe it might be good quality, not too expensive, but quite expensive. And we focus on selling loads of things rather than just like selling one big expensive thing or just selling loads of cheap things. Do you get what I'm saying? So like initially it's like us collaborating together to come up with something new.
So it's like putting both of your skills together.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you've independently come up with, and coming up with a better result that no one else has come up with. That's what that chapter's about. Synergy.
Yeah. So basically, like using all the other habits. For example, the first 3 is about building up yourself as a person.
Yeah.
So you can like, you are proactive. You are basically interdependent, and you can work on yourself. You can do your own thing.
Yeah.
And then
Independent.
Huh?
Independent.
Is it independent or interdependent?
Yeah. Independent. Interdependent is when two people, or a couple of people come together.
So you become basically how you become independent.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
obviously you talk about becoming interdependent.
Yeah.
Is when you put 4, 5, and 6 together, and 6 is basically about putting everything together.
Yeah.
And basically using, for example, number 4 and 5 especially, like trying to find someone who's independent as well, to find a win-win solution between both of you. You both synergize to come up with something new and create something popping.
I just clocked, like, basically he tells you from the jump what the book's going to be about as you go down.
Yeah.
But then he gets into more detail each chapter. Okay,
So that would be, let me just
Synergy.
refer back to my notes.
Because Synergy is basically an in-depth chapter about being interdependent.
So he began with the end in mind.
Hey, come on. This guy and his bars.
I'm rating it still.
So the last one was Sharpen the saw. I took that as in just improving on everything on everything we've gone through, just kind of improving on it and growing.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, so it's like it's another book I read. It's got nothing to do with this year. So I read something like I forgot the term. Like there's a type of like musical genius level you can reach. No, a type of hearing you can get if you're like a musician. Pitch perfect. They say that to be pitch perfect, you have to like pick up the skill by the age of 6.
Raw.
Something along those lines. So like you gotta be. It involves like practicing. But then the book basically speaks about reaching your peak, saying it's not just about just doing it when you're young and getting the whole thing. For example, if you want to be better at like badminton, for example, you play badminton, you keep practicing your serves and your things. But if you keep playing badminton frequently, you'll reach a certain level that'll stop. but you won't elevate from that level because you're doing the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
But like I said, sharpening the saw is about improving your skills. So you need to start looking deeper into it, like looking into your weaknesses.
Yeah.
So for example, yeah, I can play a very good game, but the one thing that lets me down is my backhand. But because I can make up for it with all my other skills,
Yeah.
I'll never improve that ability and so forth and that kind of stuff. That's what I took from like sharpening the saw. And then
Hey, do you think, yeah, Richard, what's his name? The fucking Serena Williams and Thingy's Williams dad read this book.
maybe, you know.
When was the book written again?
This book.
I think this one came out in 2006, if I'm not mistaken.
You joking?
But I think this version, because of I think you might have updated it, but if I'm not mistaken. And in the book here, basically focuses around like our 4 dimensions, basically. So like when it comes to like sharpening the saw, like your physical dimension, like make sure you're kind of like maintain your health by exercising, eating right, getting enough rest and relaxation, because when you come to doing activities, you're at your optimum in terms of fitness wise. You're not like feeling sluggish, you're not feeling bad with your diet, blah 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 blah. It's like your spiritual dimension as well, which you need to work on. It's also about renewing it in a sense where it's like, you know, kind of like recharging yourself. So it's kind of like you might do things like meditation, communication with like nature, something just to keep your mind charged in a sense.
Refreshed.
And then,
Yeah.
and it goes into like your mental dimension as well, which is like basically, how do I put this? Keep yourself sharp mentally, like kind of like smart, like reading new books, maybe keeping a journal of your thoughts, like writing things down, limit like crap you take in mentally, like watching crap TV shows, like, because obviously, like,
You know, I watch no TV shows, you know, unless you recommend me some. I swear down, you'll never have me on Netflix just flicking through, like, what should I watch?
because essentially the mind's like a muscle, isn't it? Like, if you do bicep curls, your bicep gets stronger.
Yeah.
If you sharpen your mind gets smarter, but then if you just let it slack,
Yeah.
you're gonna slack.
You're just going to slack.
That's
Real
it.
talk.
So was
The
that
book- the
was
book-
that one?
I was going to say the
and
book
there's
was
one
written
more
in
social and
89.
emotional dimension.
Okay.
It's basically like how you deal with people, like seeking and making deeper connections with people, whether in your friendship circles or your because all of these skills are needed for you to do all the other habits, basically.
For them to be successful,
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah,
For
so
them
you
to
can
be
implement
effective.
all the habits, but you
Yeah.
also need to be able to
do that.
maintain the habits.
That's a deeper one, you know. That's actually, because like you could do amazing deals with someone, yeah. But if you don't, like he said, build like a friendship with them or some type of, what was that? What was that under? Like he just got some of that. Nah, that's the raise in your system, my guy. That's a
You
loser.
know, my takeaway quote from this book, he quoted Einstein. A problem cannot be resolved with the mind it was created with.
Yo,
I even put
no.
put it on my Instagram as well.
hey, is that
that
like a
done?
caption?
Yeah, people thought I was smart.
Oh, I
You are
can't take
smart,
it
bro.
seriously from
You
when.
know what I'm saying, fam? That's mental retention or something. I don't know
From
what
when
that
you
is.
said that.
quote. So that's basically you have to change your paradigm.
Yeah.
Like, a problem was created with that mindset.
One mindset, one set of thinking.
So staying in that mindset, you're not going to resolve the problem. You have to change,
Look at it differently.
look at it differently.
Yeah.
The problem might be from the inside
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
Let me just repeat that.
Say it again, please. I want to hear it again one more time.
So a problem cannot be resolved with the same mind it was created with. Did I say the same?
Hey,
Anyway,
hey,
you get what I
hey.
mean.
I bet it made sense. It made sense.
Yeah,
It
that's
fully made
brilliant, man.
sense.
But yeah, man, I like this book. What would you rate the book?
What would I rate the book? I'll rate the book. I say 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. I think if it was it was written in 1989. If it was written any sooner.
Did you not revamp it though? That's what I was thinking. He came out in 2016. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, he might have had different versions, but like the content was made in 1989. I think it was like if he had more, how could he improve it? I think if he applied it more to, it'll be interesting to have a version in our modern day and age with like the internet and all of these things. It'll be interesting to have a version there, like where it's like you should apply yourself to like using the internet, and because this is 1989,
Yeah.
right? I don't think the internet was even popping right there. But if you apply certain tasks and use computers and internet or whatever involved in the tasks, how effective would you be?
So like, don't go to work, mine Bitcoin. I'm just saying.
No, but it's like because it talks about private victories, and like in our modern day and age, there's like a lot of like mental issues, and I feel like it'll be interesting on what his perspective will be on how people deal with his principles and values nowadays. You know what I mean? Even like publicly, like nowadays. I was gonna say you don't really need like a group to be successful, but you probably do eventually.
So would you say people are starting to become, so people, in order to get to where we are in this day and age,
Yeah.
like from the 40s, 50s, 60s, people have had to be interdependent.
No,
People
they
have
have
had
to be independent. I mean, independent. I think
mean-
they just have to be independent.
I mean, to build society to where we are now,
yeah.
we've had to collaborate and work together and all this kind of stuff. But I would say in today's
You think so?
society, I think we're becoming
Yeah.
less interdependent and we're not working together as much because
You don't need to.
of the internet.
Yeah.
Actually, but then again, the internet has helped people collaborate with people from on the other side of the globe.
And that's how you get successful.
Yeah.
Synergy.
So
I'll say it. Now, he said at the beginning of the book here, prior to World War II,
yeah,
it was all about having a character, holding values to your character and being independent.
yeah,
That's what people deemed as successful.
Yeah.
Oh, he can do this or he can do that, independently.
independently.
Then after World War II is like, nah, it's like success is categorized by how well you are with people, how well you are socially. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then now it's like we're like with this whole internet and stuff. You can still be independent and successful, but for how long? For how far? Like, do you still need to apply all of this stuff now? You could open a Instagram account tomorrow with the maddest photos, I don't know, of cars, just Ferraris.
But then if
And Ferraris.
if the page became really successful, I might get an assistant to come work with the engagement. And
But that's if you want to. You can manage it yourself.
But
There's a lot of kids just managing it themselves.
But then sometimes having too much workload on yourself ruins you in the long run. Sometimes you need to be able to like deviate the work so you can go and create new ideas to make sure that the page doesn't fall off.
So are you a gopher delegator or a stewardship delegator?
Bit of both. I think at the start, definitely I'm more of a go for kind of man, where like I'm telling you to do something, or basically I'll tell you I want this done, and I prefer you can do it this way.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have no better than I do, or you got a better idea than I am, we listen to it, then you can take stewardship of it. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't just give you the reins to the horse where you don't know how to ride a horse. You need to leave her some lessons at first, at least. You know what I'm saying?
No, but if you're saying that you show someone how to do something
Yeah,
and then just say,
stewardship, no?
yeah, that's stewardship.
No, but I'm saying, but at first it's like you need to be doing this, that. It's kind of like go for it first, but then you go into stewardship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's
yeah.
a balance, yeah. It's
Yeah.
a balance, yeah.
I would rate this as a 9 out of 10
Okay.
because, as I said in the last episode, I wasn't really a reading man. I'm more a visuals man.
Yeah.
So far, this is the best thing I've ever read.
Raw.
Yeah, remember I haven't read. I do. It's more research and visuals and all this kind of stuff that I do. Being a part of this podcast is getting me into reading a lot more.
Oh, that's so touching, bro.
Yeah,
That's the aim, though, isn't it?
yeah.
No, don't spit.
I'm not that I can't read.
That's so touching.
Not that I can't read. It's just I'm a more physical, hands-on, kind of person.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far this is the best thing I've read. I'll give it a 9 out of 10, and it's probably gonna be one of the best I've read for a long
You're
time.
going to buy the physical copy.
Yeah, I am.
I
I think I need it for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna build myself a bookshelf.
Yeah.
Raw.
No, not really. Put that one book up there and start filling it bit by bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, man,
that's
I'll
helpful.
recommend. You know what?
9 out
I'd
of
recommend everyone read this book.
Yeah,
I'll recommend everyone read this book.
yeah. If you want to be efficient,
Everyone.
definitely.
Yeah, this applies to everyone.
Anyone that wants to anyone that has a goal in mind, and it might take more than just themselves to fulfill.
Yeah. I'd rate the book a 9. I think, don't know, man. I like the whole concept about it. And I think personally, it kind of like speaks to man because I think I need to maybe harness in on some of these habits that he's talking about. I think it's well written. Listens quite good on the Audible as well. So yeah, man, I give it a 9. And I'm very critical as well, so this is like a very high rating. So yeah, man, definitely go get it if you want to, be a bit more effective and stuff. I recommend it. Solid 9.
Would you give Power Broke?
I give it like a 4, blood. Right? I gave it a 3. There you go. 3.5. Something kind. 3.5.
I don't even want to remember what I gave it.
Oh God.
No, Power Broke was alright. You know, you read a couple more books. Come on, Power Broke was alright.
Nah, blood.
No, the concept of it was alright. You just got pissed off because
The
it just
execution
dragged out. Yeah,
Is
yeah. You just got pissed off because it dragged out. That's what it really is.
but yeah, man.
It was alright.
I'm never gonna try and drag him no more because I think I did that last episode.
He read a couple more books, after that. He read a couple more books after that.
You know what we should do? We should let's rank these books. So far,
Yeah.
like a league table. So
A league table,
like a league table of the books we
Yeah,
read.
There's only 2 books right now.
So far,
We could edit in like a little table here and put rankings on there. What the Mandem recommend?
or we can ask the viewers to have their own paradigm or perception or their own model.
This guy's banging out this word.
Yeah, I'm putting the 7 habits of highly effective people
Yeah.
as number 1 so far,
It's a bit of a mouthful, innit?
and then the Power Broke is a default number 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
default number 2. So as the weeks go on,
Yeah.
some things will get shifted. Yeah,
Saying that, I got a couple suggestions for our next book. The Superior Man by David Dada.
what kind of character? Because so far we've done 2 self-help books.
Self-help books. This one's more about your spiritual guide and relationships. It's actually a very good book.
What's it called again?
The Superior Man.
You know what is it? I've got that in my suggestions as well.
You see that?
I think that's a sign. Then should we do it?
That's a
So
sign.
I've got 2. It's
You
called
know what really gave me the sign?
The Superior Man
When
and
these
Hood
two were talking
Feminism.
about their relationships. That's what really gave me the sign. But sorry, go on.
As I was saying, The Superior Man, yeah, and Hood Feminism.
What?
Hood Feminism. Is that a book?
It's a book.
Hood
Let
feminism.
me see that. I don't believe you.
It's by Mickey Kendall.
What's it about?
That's what we have to find out. No, it's for women that a movement forgot. So basically, I think kind of addresses how like mainstream feminism is basically like kind of centered around maybe white women and that, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously how like they don't really include other people into it. Or
You know what? I want to do that.
Nah, man. Don't do that to me,
and
man.
we can get. I know a girl. She's very like.
I know someone
More
who
educated,
we can get someone to fill this seat.
Yeah, man. We can get some people. Yeah, exactly.
We can get someone to fill this seat.
Why are you so anti-feminist?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do
Dave
it.
not
Chappelle
anti-fem
says,
now.
yeah,
Oh, get out of here with that.
if you
Dave
want a
Chappelle
woman
shit.
to do well and live a nice life and not be bothered again, you're a feminist. That's what we want, innit? So I'm
Yeah.
saying, so like, let's get the hood feminists on there.
I hear you, but this is what I'm saying. Can't we just get our shit together before we ask some next things? Before we ask some other people to roll on.
Anyway, I think
We'll take it to the group chat, innit?
yeah, we'll decide. The next episode, you'll see the book we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, in summary, what do you say? 9, 9, 8.5.
So should we round up to a 9?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you rate this.
8.5.
Yeah, compared to this.
Do you know what it is? I think if it was modernized, then yeah,
Okay.
9.
Do you man feel like you're effective people anyway? I'll just end this on this note, by the way.
That's a good question. I think I've been proactive since a youth. I'll be honest. Do you know why? But not on like, oh, I know what being a proactive is and da. I just used to think when a man's telling me, I can't do this, I can't do that, you're moist. Like, it's just an ego thing.
It's a
like-
defeatist attitude, isn't it?
It's like, swear down. Like, swear down. I think it's because I have a competitive side to me, where it's like, someone says you can't do this, I'm going to do it just because you said I can't do it. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think, so as far as habit 1, I think I've already had that from early. The other habits, I don't think I was as organized as habit 3, where it's like, put first things first. But I guess I'm starting to. Habit 2, where it's putting the ending, putting the end, having the end in mind.
I think when you end in mind, yeah.
Yeah, when you're starting. Yeah, that one I didn't sometimes I'll just roll with it.
Yeah, same.
Sometimes I'll just roll with it and just, you know what I mean? I believe, like he says, that just doing the job will give me the goal, where it's like, no, you got to have the ending in mind.
You got to imagine it.
You got to imagine the
Yeah.
full works and then
Yeah.
and then work up to it. So the other ones, you were saying,
The
win-win.
win-win. Yeah.
Win-win, just out of like life situations, I think. Yeah, I've started to implement that in my life. What's after that?
Something about understanding or something.
Understand, be understood. Yeah, to understand, be understood. So basically, do you really listen to people to understand what they're saying, or you don't care about what other people
No,
think?
I think lately, yeah, definitely.
You listen.
Yeah, within the last couple of years, yeah, definitely.
And the next one was Synergize. That's kind of just pulling the other ones.
Do you know what?
Practice.
That one I've been trying to do. I've been trying to do. I think I'm only getting it right lately.
I think technically we're doing that right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
And then the last one, do you sharpen your saw? Do you kind of improve physically,
I do.
mentally?
I do. So basically, on one of the... Sorry, run down like the different types. There's emotion, there's mental,
So it's
there's...
physical, spiritual, mentally, and socially.
So, like, obviously I try gym. I know you gym, this guy.
I'll try and go gym.
Yeah. So that's what physical.
Hey, add me to the... No, I'm joking.
Physical,
Yeah, looking
spiritual.
bust in that shirt.
I'm looking out. I'm done out here, fam. Don't worry about me, fam.
Do you go to church or anything like that?
Spiritual wise, let's not get started on spiritual.
I think it's more than church,
it
though.
might go
Yeah,
left.
it could be anything.
So my thing is like I try to use my Sundays
Yeah.
because you know he says like before this book.
Like meditating, things like that.
No, I just keep my Sundays to myself. Like I try not do anything work related on my Sundays. So I might just go like swim for like half an hour. I might box for half an hour. You know, all like cardio stuff and just focus on self and you know what I mean. Just so then Monday come, I'm
for the
cool.
week.
I'm good within myself. Do you know what I mean? I've had that rest. I use the Sunday to clean the yard as well. So I guess in a way I kind of implemented that without knowing. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I renew myself. Well, you do that.
Yeah.
Well, you have a special day.
Every day is my special day.
Hey, come on.
I'm playing.
I am blessed.
Like it's not a specific day,
Yeah.
but it could be a specific time of the day.
Okay.
Like before I go to bed, I kind of set aside an hour where I'm.
Well, you just pray.
No, not even pray. Just like where I'm reading something, where even if it's I'm watching, I'm doing research, or
But wait, okay, yeah, because you said reading was one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's your
Keep-
mental
Yeah.
dimension.
like I said, I'm not like a reader. I'm not one to or I should say I wasn't one to just pick up a book and read. But I'm more of a like a researcher. Where
Reading is reading, bro.
yeah, reading is reading, but yeah, I guess reading is reading.
This is taking up my reading.
Yeah, this is taking up a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of reading.
I tried to read other books
Yeah.
beside this, but no, I can't
Yeah.
do that, man.
So I
It's
think
taking
that's
up most of my time.
that's a wrap.
That's
Yeah.
a wrap.
Yeah.
That's a wrap, man. Well, you know the handles you got.
A1_B.
Good JR Kennedy __.
I am E. Smith, and we are the Mandem Read. So you don't have to. Come on.
Bow.
Like that.
Bow. Second episode done. I love it.
Dos.
I love it.